Here we go. So today what we're going to do is evaluate the trigonometric functions, but this time we're not going to use the special right triangles. We're going to be using our calculator. So the first thing we need to do is confirm that our calculator is in degree mode. So again, you can hit your mode button and you can double check that the word degree is highlighted. What you can also do is on your calculator, hit the sine button, hit 30 degrees, and then you should be getting 1/2 or 0.5. This will confirm that your calculator is in degrees. All of the calculations for this chapter are going to be in degrees. Okay, so now that we've confirmed that our calculator is in degrees, let's try the first question. So these are super easy. You're going to hit the tangent button. Now we need to convert this angle measure, and remember we convert the minutes by dividing by 60. So you can do this two ways. You're going to touch the tangent button. It'll open the parentheses. You'll do 29 plus, and you can either hit that math button and enter this as a fraction and then hit enter, or if you're going to just use the divided by, you're going to do 29 plus, but you're going to need to do the 30 divided by 60 in a parentheses and then hit enter. You should be getting the decimal 0.5657728. We are going to truncate it to 3 places. So truncated means you just read the first 3 numbers off of your calculator. So the answer is 0.565. So when you take the chapter 5 test, just read what place value I want it to round or truncate. If it would have said round, we would do 0.566. This would be the rounded answer. But I'm pretty sure we're going to have you truncate. Option is to hit that apps button and then put the little degree symbol, put the minute symbol. You can also do that either way. It almost takes just as many buttons to just do the 30 divided by 60. All right, let's try the next example. Notice this time it's cotangent. There isn't a button on your calculator for cotangent. We do not use the second tangent button for this. We only use the second tangent button when we're trying to find an angle measure. So what we're going to do here is you're going to remember that cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent. So when we go to enter this in our calculator, we're going to enter it like this. We're going to do 1 divided by, and then we're going to use a parentheses. The parentheses are going to change the answer if you don't put enough in. So we're doing 1 divided by this whole quantity, tangent, and then we're going to do 41 plus parentheses 24 divided by 60, close that parentheses, close the 1 from in front of the 41, and close the parenthesis from in front of the tangent. Now, if you're going to enter the 24 divided by 60 as a fraction, you can also do that. Either way, once we enter this in, we should be getting 1.1342773. Again, truncated 1.134. So remember, cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. So for this one, when I enter it in my calculator, 1 divided by, parentheses, sine, parentheses, 145 plus, parentheses, 45 divided by 60, close parentheses, close parentheses, close parentheses. And this will give us 1.7768146, truncated to 3 places, 1.776. Again, remember those values that sine and cosine had to be fractions, the reciprocals had to be greater than 1 or less than -1. So because my answer is greater than 1, this is reasonable. Because remember, we were calculating cosecant. And cosecant has to be greater than 1 or less than -1. The next one. Next one's nice and easy. There is a cosine button. So all we're going to do is hit the cosine button. 421 plus parentheses 30 divided by 60. Close parentheses, close parentheses. 0.4771588. Truncated to 3 places. 0.477. Again, sine and cosine have to be a fraction, so my answer makes sense. Now, next one's tricky. Be very careful. And let me demonstrate what I mean by that. Now, notice this is a negative angle. When I go to convert those degrees and minutes into a decimal degree, the way that I need to do it is I need to do tangent negative 80 plus, and then the minutes also need to be negative, divided by 60. Because if you don't make that 6 a negative, then your degree is going to turn into a negative 79 instead of a negative 80 point something. So make sure when you're combining the degrees with the minutes that you put the same sign on both. Because watch my calculations. If I were to have done negative 80 plus 6 divided by 60, I am going to end up getting negative 79.9. But if I do it as negative 80 plus negative 6 divided by 60, negative 80.1, which is the correct angle measure. And that's what would give me that answer when I do it like this. So now what I'm going to do is once you hit tangent button and then put this in here, you should be getting negative 5.7297446 truncated to 3 places, negative 5.729. Okay, so for cotangent, again, there's no cotangent button. Okay, we also have a negative degree here. So when I go to do this, I'm doing 1 divided by tangent, open parentheses, negative 512 plus negative 20 divided by 60, close that parenthesis, close the parentheses from in front of the negative 512, and then the one from in front of tangent. And you should be getting 1.907. Next, this time, the given problem is this. Recall that it is the reciprocal to cosine. So since my original problem was given to me as a fraction, all I need to do here is cosine of 14.8. And this will give me 0.966. So this is similar to what we did yesterday, but yesterday our reference angles were only 30, 60, or 45. Now the reference angle is going to be whatever we get from our calculator. So yesterday we did this. Now technically, even the special right triangle stuff you can do with your calculator. So if you were given this on, say, the SAT, all you would do to figure out what theta is you're going to hit second, then you're going to touch the sine button, which will then open up sine negative 1, and then you're either going to key it in as a fraction or as 1 divided by 2. And then once you hit enter, theta equals 30. Now, just like yesterday, it's only giving us one of them. Remember to get the other angles. The angle in quadrant 2 is found by doing 180 minus that reference angle. So this is 150. Then down here was 180 plus 30, and that's 210. And then 360 minus the reference angle, which is 330. Now I also have to do my all students take calculus and figure out where sine is positive. Sine is positive here and here. So my two answers are 30 degrees and 150 degrees. This is what we did yesterday. Now we're doing it with the calculator, and I just did this with the calculator. However, yesterday, if this were the question, you would have done it with the special right triangle. What the type of questions you're going to get on the test are going to be something like this. Sine of theta is equal to 0.3456. So what we're going to do, and this is reasonable because the answer to sine of any angle needs to be a fraction, but to get the angle measure, I'm going to do second, then touch the sine button, which then opens up sine -1. I put in the decimal from the problem they give me. I hit enter, and I get 20.218 degrees. Now, when you do this on your calculator, it's only giving you one of these degrees. We now need to calculate the other 4. Now, technically, I only need to find where sine is positive. So I don't really need to do all 4. All students take calculus. The only ones I need to figure out are where sine is positive, which is here and here. So to find my other angle measure, I'm going to do 180 minus that reference angle. So I'm going to do 180 minus 20.218. And my answer is 159.782. So the answer to this problem, sine of theta equals 0.3456, is 20.218 degrees and 159.782 degrees. Remember, in quadrant 3, to count, if that were what I was looking for, I would be doing 180 plus the reference angle, and to get the angle for quadrant 4, it's 360 minus the reference angle. And your reference angle is always the angle that's in quadrant 1. Okay, next one is cosine. So again, second cosine, so it opens up the -1. You do this second key whenever you're looking for an angle measure. Now, let me show you what happens when I put in this answer as it's given to me. And then I'm also going to show you what happens when we take away the negative sign and enter it in as a positive. We're going to get two different answers. So when I do the first one, second cosine, -0.4572, I get 117.206. When I do it without the negative sign, I get 62.793. Now, recall when you have your angles, all of the angles that are in quadrant 1, these are all going to be angles that measure from 1 degree up to 89 degrees. In quadrant 2, because if you recall, this is a right angle here. These are perpendicular lines. All of the angle measures in quadrant 2 are going to be from 91 to 179 degrees. In quadrant 3, this will be from 181 to 269. And then in quadrant 4, this will be from 271 up to 369. No, 359. All right, so if you take and do the problem as it's given to you with the negative, realize that this 117 is the angle that's in quadrant 2. It's not your reference angle. If you want to get the reference angle, always enter it in as a positive. Now, if you're going to enter it in as it is, to get the reference angle, remember normally to get this number, we're doing 180 minus the RA. So what I could do is take that angle measure, the 117.206, and I could subtract that from 180 to get the angle that should be in quadrant 1. And that's going to be 62.794. Now, let's do our all students take calculus, because I need to figure out where my answers are coming from. Because cosine is negative, I'm going to be looking for answers from here and here. So this is why it was important for me to figure out the reference angle, because to get the angle that's in quadrant 3, I have to do 180 plus the 62.794. It has to be the angle that you're adding and subtracting from the 180 that comes from quadrant 1. So once I do 180 plus 62.794, I end up with 242.794. So my answers here are 117.206 and 242.794. Those are my two angle measures. All right, so for tangent, we're going to do second and then tangent. So it opens up tan negative 1. Again, this one's negative. So you can either enter it in with the negative, but let's say we do it with the positive. Once I do that, I'm 0.979. Now, that's going to be, since I entered it in as positive, know that that gave me quadrant 1. To get quadrant 2, I subtract it. So when I do 180 minus 50.979, I get 129.021. Now, really what I need to do here is figure out which ones I need to calculate. I don't need to do all 4. So I was looking for tangent to be negative, so all students take calculus. The only ones I need to figure out are this one and this one. So to get this answer, I'm doing 360 minus the 50.979. And then my answer will be 309.021. So for number 4, now you'll probably get something like this on the test. Everybody key this in your calculator. Hit second, sine 1.234. What do you get? Good. Remember, sine has to be a fraction. So that should have been a clue that this is not possible. So when you get error on your calculator, your answer is not possible. But if you realized right from the beginning that this was not a fraction, that it wouldn't work, that would confirm your error when you do it on the calculator. Okay, the next one is reciprocal. So sine of theta, remember, is equal to 1 over cosecant theta. Now, this one we're doing a little different. So before, remember, we did 1 divided by the trig button. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be touching, and this is where it's going to take practice, You're going to do sine -1. Then you're going to put in 1 divided by 1.3457. And this should approximately equal to, we're going to round to the nearest degree. Let's see what we get. Second sine. Nearest degree, we get 47.99. Nearest degree is going to be 48 degrees. Now, we need to find where else our answer is located. So 48 goes here. Let's put in the all students take calculus. We want a positive cosecant. Cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. So I'm looking for the answer here and here. So to get my answer for here, it's 180 minus 48. So my answer is 132. So theta here is 48 degrees and 132 degrees. Okay, number 6, cotangent. Again, this is the reciprocal of tangent. Oops, cotangent theta. So I'm going to be doing tangent -1. And then I'm going to do 1 divided by, and then I can put in the negative, 0.3452, and I'll get approximately -70.96. Now realize that if I put it in as negative, my -70-degree angle is down here. Remember, we want our reference angle to be up here. So if you want to enter this as positive, then you'll get the 70.96 positive reference angle. So again, let's do our all students take calculus. We're looking for cotangent where it's negative. So this takes this one away and this one. So I need to do the calculations for here and here. So I'm going to do 180 minus 70.96 and 360 minus 70.96. And let's see what we get. 109.04, and over here 360 minus 70.96, and I get 289.04. So if we round it to the nearest degree, it would be 109 degrees and 289 degrees. And then the last example, cosecant. This one is, you should be getting an error on your calculator. This one's no solution because cosecant has to be greater than 1. So again, this one is no solution because cosecant needs to be greater than 1 or less than -1. You can try it, but you would be getting an error on your calculator. So your homework is page 506, 75 through 93, but it's due on Tuesday.